Yes, I'm wearing a formal dress for a YouTube video. We're just gonna roll with it. We all know that ethically made clothing has a bit of a stigma around it. A lot of people think it just all looks like earthy, organic, bohemian, hippie kind of look. Well, that's partly true. A lot of it does look that way. A lot of it also has this really modern, shapeless, staples kind of look to it as well. Both of those looks are great. I mean, personally, I like both of those looks, but sometimes I want something that's a little bit more like young, trendy, fun looking. So that's where Reformation comes in. Their pieces are almost too young and flattering for me, but they definitely do encapsulate that really like trendy, edgy kind of vibe. They're definitely not a classic look. They kind of take a classic look and make it more edgy, but either way, if you're kind of searching for that a little bit more young, trendy, interesting kind of look for your clothes, Reformation might be the place for you. But now for the real stuff. How are they in ethical manufacturing and sustainability? For this video, I'm using my own research as well as the information on the Good On You app. Sidebar, if you haven't checked out the Good On You app or website, it's a database containing hundreds of clothing and accessory brands, categorizing each brand by its practices in labor, environment, and animals. They rate each of these brands in each of these categories on a 5-point scale. On first glance through the Reformation website, you can see testimonials of people who work in their LA factory. You can also see their claims that their factory, as well as all their partner factories, manufacture responsibly. But they don't really give much more information other than the testimonials and the opportunity to see their LA factory in person on the first Friday of every month. Good On You gives them a good rating, or 4 out of 5 stars, because they don't give very much information on their third-party factories, but they do seem to do a lot of their manufacturing in their LA factory, and that factory does seem to have pretty high standards. So they're better than a lot of companies, but they definitely need more third-party verification. However, their environmental rating on Good On You is a 5 out of 5. They use recycled materials, factory offcuts, and eco-friendly fibers such as viscose and tencel. Their packaging is made of recycled materials and is recyclable. They purchase carbon offsets. They track all of their water use and report on that on their website. And they have several eco certifications. To get more information on any of these categories, you can go to the Reformation website or the Good On You app and just search Reformation. So Reformation is still rather pricey, but they do have pretty good sales a couple times a year. I decided to take advantage of one of these sales and get a few pieces that I've been on the hunt for anyway. Both pieces are made of viscose, which is a natural biodegradable fiber, and they were made in the factory without using any formaldehyde or heavy metals or other nasty stuff like that. So I rarely go out, but I still do go out, so that means I need something in my closet that accommodates a range of occasions. I don't want to get different pieces of clothing for all the different types of occasions I might need to go to, but I want one piece that is flexible. So I thought a jumpsuit would be really good for this. I also have a black tie event coming up, and I just feel like my old prom dresses just aren't quite cutting it anymore. I really love the style of this dress when I saw it on the Reformation sale section, and the price was great, so I was really excited to get it. Of course, Reformation has to make all their pieces just a little bit scandalous and just a little bit more edgy than at least I would prefer, so I will have to get a slip to go underneath. But other than that, I really like the piece. Both of these pieces seem to be true to the size that was in the measuring chart on the website. I did go and measure myself and check it against the charts for each of these pieces of clothing, and when they came, they did definitely fit in the places that were represented on the chart, if that makes sense. I am a fairly tall girl, so I did email Reformation about the hemline for the jumpsuit, and they got back to me and it seemed like it would work. It's barely long enough, but the other problem that any tall girl will know, or really anybody with a long torso, is that the waistline on the pieces doesn't quite work for me. So So that's one thing that's not represented in like the sizing chart on the site. I'm definitely gonna make the dress still work. The waistline isn't quite where it needs to be, but it's not horrible, so I'm gonna make it work. But the jumpsuit, it's just not there. For a jumpsuit, if the waist is a little bit off, like everything's off. It's like the hemline is pulled up too high, it's a little bit short, doesn't cover enough. Yeah, it just doesn't quite work, so I'm gonna see if somebody else, if my sister actually, would like to wear it, and if not, then I'll probably just do some alterations to it. In general though, if you are not particularly tall, you shouldn't have any trouble with the sizes working out for you on the site. Overall, I think Reformation is a really good option for people. It's not a site that I will frequent, it's just not quite my style, even though it does have some cool pieces of clothing. The fit of the clothing is just not something that I would normally wear. But overall, it is definitely a good substitute for going to other more edgy brands that aren't manufacturing ethically. So that's the main thing I can say about that. If I was ranking it on a Melissa's 5 points, I would definitely put it as like a 3. Cool, good option, not something I'm going to get again. I might refer it to a friend if they're looking for something very particularly in that range. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you found it informative just to introduce you to this brand Reformation and get a little bit of a taste for my experience of it. If you're new to this channel, we talk about ethically made and sustainable products in all categories, from home goods to home renovation to clothing to beauty, hair, really everything. So if you're interested in living a more conscious lifestyle, if you're just getting introduced to it, or this is part of your daily life and you want to hear about more brands and services, then this is a good place for you. Feel free to subscribe, turn on notifications, comment, and just become part of this community. We'd be really excited to hear from you, to get some tips from you, to hear about your experience. You can do all of that in the comments, and hopefully you'll be back again.